So I want to talk to you about our RRRI actions. And what is all this about, this triple RI? Well, after many years of looking at projects in the field and understanding what's going on with certification, what's happening overall in credible climate action, we really thought here at My Carbon Zero that we want to be able to give people simple actions that they can take to make real climate change impacts. And so to try and explain where the RRI, the triple RI actions come from, I wanted you to think about a bucket of water. And some of you may have heard that we need to keep under 1.5 or 2 degrees of warming to avoid catastrophic climate change. Well, we're already above 1. And part of that, the scientists who are looking at this, the UN scientists who are looking at climate change, talk about 450 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we're already at about 418, and it's going up pretty quickly, which is a bit of a worry. And so if you can imagine a bucket of water, we've got a tap running into that bucket of water. That's my tap. You've got your tap. Everyone else has got a tap. Businesses have got a tap. And we're all pouring water into this pretty big bucket. Well, that bucket is our atmosphere. Okay, so every year we put more water into the bucket. And the fear is that if we get above 450 parts per million, all of the water will flood out and it'll create a disaster. And that's climate change. Okay, so imagine this. What we need to do is to put less water in the bucket. Okay, so this is what we talk about with our first R action. Reduce your emissions. Reduce the amount of water you're putting in the bucket. Reduce the amount of carbon dioxide you're putting into the air. Okay, so this is R1. Reduce. So that means turning down that tap, turning down your tap, so that you put less water into that bucket every year. Okay, but what about other people? There's lots of other people in the world. Not all of them have the capacity to turn down their tap. So this is where R2 comes in. What can we do to help other people reduce their emissions so that they can turn down their tap? So I can turn down my tap with R1. I can put less water into the bucket. I can put less carbon into the atmosphere, and I can help people, for example, in the developing world who don't have so much money to reduce their emissions. Okay, so we help them turn down their tap. So that's R2. But we're only turning down the tap. We're not turning it off. So the bucket is, as we do our R1 and R2 actions, the bucket is still filling up. It's not filling up as fast. That's good news, but it's still filling up. Okay, so one of the problems is eventually it will overflow. And in other parts of the world, they're turning their taps up. So as we turn ours down, other people are creating more emissions. So collectively, humanity's got to turn down its emissions. We've got to put less water into the bucket. But even if we do put less, it'll eventually overflow. So we've got to take water out of the bucket. We've got to remove water from the bucket. We've got to remove carbon from the bucket. So we've got to scoop some of it out and put it safely away so that it doesn't create a mess. And that's R3. R3 is remove. Remove water from the bucket, remove carbon from the atmosphere. And we can do that, for example, by tree planting projects or soil carbon projects, mangrove, what we call blue carbon project, mangrove, seagrass projects. Okay, we can do it with built environment projects where we take carbon from the atmosphere and lock it away in buildings. Okay, so this is R3. So R1, you turn down your tap. R2, you help someone else turn down their tap. R3, we remove carbon from the bucket so that we don't risk overflowing it. These are the 3 R's. And what about the I? Well, the I is for inspire. We need to try and inspire other people to take this journey too, to turn down their tap, to help other people, to remove their carbon from the bucket. So I is for inspire. So we have triple RI actions. And together, these things, if we put them, some people say, oh, I'm just going to, reduce my emissions. That's not enough, because the bucket will eventually overflow. We must remove carbon from the atmosphere, and we must help other people do it too. So this is why we together at My Carbon Zero bring these 3 R's together and the I together, so we can inspire other people to do it. That's what we believe is credible climate action, and we are so grateful for you to coming to our community and jumping in there and taking your own triple RI actions on your My Carbon Zero journey.